Seattle is an amazing city, but living here in 2026 may be different than what people expect. I want to give you a realistic look at what living here is actually like. Some things in Seattle are incredible, while other things may make you think twice about moving here. Before you decide to move to Seattle, here are the real pros and cons that you need to know. So Seattle and the Pacific Northwest in general are just known for the absolutely beautiful scenery around. We have mountains everywhere you look, from north, east, south, west. There's mountains everywhere. There's water everywhere. There's forests and greenery and ferns. It's such a natural, beautiful area, and it just never gets old living here. It's really easy to start taking it for granted. You just go on with your life and you're not paying attention and notice, and then you kind of like stop and the sun comes out and the mountains are out and it's just so beautiful, and you're like, oh my gosh, yes, I live in this like amazing, beautiful area. It's like out of a magazine, the picturesque beauty here. So it's something to really behold. I don't know. It's so beautiful here. And I think that's what a lot of people love about living here. That's what I love about living here, is just the overall like amazing, beautiful scenery. Pro number two is abundant restaurants and culture. So Seattle is really known as kind of like a foodie haven, I guess, or a foodie area. There's so many good restaurants in the area and really good local restaurants. Like, yes, we do have chains, but local restaurants are really where it's at. And we just have so many of them. Like every single neighborhood has just several restaurants. So you will just never get bored of trying to explore different food and restaurants. And it seems like there's always a new restaurant opening, something new to try. So if you're into food and into dining and eating out, you just are not going to be bored because there's such great variety. I mean, we've got Vietnamese, Thai food, great seafood, great burgers, just a really huge range of food. Restaurants are spot on. Also, another thing that I really like about a lot of the restaurants here is some of them really tailor their menus towards like the local food and what's in season. So a lot of them will have rotating menus, and it's just based on what is in season in the area. So it's just a really great way to kind of connect with your local, I guess, farming community, and just by eating what's really in season and local, and it really helps to change up the menu. So if you're going to different places often and they're continuously changing their menu and tweaking it every couple of months based on the seasonality, it's just a good way to kind of keep things fun and different, and you're just always exploring new different things to eat. Seattle is also known as a coffee and beer city. Seattle, we are like serious about our coffee here. There are so many different coffee shops. Like, yes, we have the big, well-known Starbucks everybody knows about, but it's really about the smaller, more local coffee shops. Every other street corner, you're gonna find a different coffee shop. Every neighborhood probably has like 5 or 6 different coffee shops in it, if not more. So people here are very, very into their coffee, and you really get spoiled living here when you go travel other places and you just want like a cold brew or your regular coffee and you get this like watered down thing. You're just like, what is this? So we are very into our coffee here. So fun fact about Seattle's love for coffee is they did a study on the marine life in the area, like in the Elliott Bay and Puget Sound area, and they found that a lot of the fish and like other marine life had higher levels of caffeine in their systems. So it's just kind of crazy. I don't know if that's probably not like the best thing ever, but our caffeine and coffee consumption is like literally affecting the animals in the area because we drink so much of it. Another thing that people are really into in this area, and you will have no shortage of finding, is breweries. Seattle loves their beer, loves their breweries. So if you're into beer, you will have no shortage of breweries. I would say probably every neighborhood has their own brewery. And if it's not like their own brewery, there's tap houses everywhere where you can go to places and they have like 15, 20 different taps of local beers. So people are very serious about their beer here, and also IPAs. Like if you're into lagers or some of the lighter beers, there's still options for that, but IPAs like rule in this area. So just be prepared for that. If you are not into IPAs, you'll still find something, but it's all about IPAs here. It's really hard to find things that are not IPAs. Seattle also has a very strong music and art scene. Back in the 90s, it was all about grunge, and I think music has stayed as a very important part of the Seattle culture. We've got anywhere from smaller local bands, you can go into smaller hole-in-the-wall bars and venues and always find live music playing some night of the week, up to larger venues where you have more nationally and world recognized music talents that come. So if you are into music, Seattle is definitely a great spot to enjoy music along with the local arts. So a lot of different neighborhoods have local art walks. Like once a month, they'll have either like First Friday or First Thursday where you can walk around and just check out local artists. There's several different art museums. Seattle Art Museum, SAM is kind of the bigger well-known one. Seattle Asian Art Museum also. We have Olympic Sculpture Park, which is a park that has different sculptures in it. So the art scene is very alive and well here too. So if it's something where you're moving here and you need new art on your walls, I say go down to local galleries or these art walks and get to know local artists and support local artists. Seattle also has a good amount of film festivals and different cultural activities throughout the year. So you're never going to be bored in this city. I feel like there's always something to do, whether you want to go out and eat somewhere, go get a good beer, go to an art gallery or an art museum, or check out some live music, or go to some different cultural event or festivities. There's always something year-round to do. So Seattle has some amazing restaurants and fun activities. If you want to learn more about the insider scoop on the restaurants and all of the fun activities to enjoy once you move to the area, give our team a call. We can give you that insider scoop. We can't give it all away on YouTube, but reach out to us and we can help you out. One thing a lot of people love about Seattle is the weather. You usually don't deal with extreme heat or brutal winters like other cities. So pro number 3 is mild climate. So Seattle, basically has a very mild climate. We don't get too hot in the summers and we don't get too cold in the winters. Our averages in the summers are usually like mid to high 70s, even low 80s. And in the winter, we see typically high 30s up into low 40s. So it never gets super, super hot here or super, super cold. That's not to say that we don't have heat waves that come through or we don't get cold snaps that come in. We absolutely do. But typically, like in the summer when we do get heat waves, it's usually maybe once or twice a year, and it will be probably in the 90s, even above 100 sometimes. But that typically lasts about 2, 3, maybe 4 days, and then we're back into like the 70s and 80s. One thing that is nice in the summer, like even when we do get those heat waves that come in, it still cools down at night, so you're still getting a break from it at night. It's not like it just stays like hot and humid or anything all night long. You can open up your windows, get that nice breeze, so you do get a break from it. And then on the flip side, in the winter too, we don't really get snow here. Like yes, the surrounding mountains get snow, and every so often, I'd say probably once every other year, we'll get a good snowstorm. We're actually overdue for one right now. I thought we would get a pretty decent snowstorm this year because we haven't had snow the past couple years, but it doesn't appear to be that way. It's March now and we still haven't had any snow. So very mild climate. We still don't see those extreme hot and cold. That's what I love about living here is I grew up in the snow, sick of the snow. I lived in the desert for a while. The heat is like too much. So this is just a very nice, mild, well-rounded climate. So we really do have a very distinct spring season. Also in the fall, again, we have a very distinct fall. We have so much green trees and foliage around here that we start to see those leaves changing. You know, it's kicking off to fall. Again, it's so beautiful once those leaves start changing, seeing all the different reds and yellows and orange colors. So a very distinct fall. Winter is more characterized by just gloom and rain, not really any snow. And then when you pop around the summer, you get, once summer finally does hit, typically July, August, it's just sunny and beautiful that whole time and nice warm weather. Seattle really stands out when it comes to progressive values and environmental awareness. If living in a city that prioritizes sustainability is important to you, this is a big advantage. So this may not be a pro for everyone, but Seattle is a very progressive-minded city. A lot of people move here for those values. And overall, Seattle leans very, very progressive, especially when we're talking about social issues and the LGBTQIA plus communities. Seattle is very inclusive and friendly for those communities. As far as more eco-focused culture, Seattle has really been kind of on the forefront of sustainability in some of their building practices. Everywhere you go, you have to recycle and compost. All households and businesses have to do that. There is no option, like you have to compost. There are no plastic bags in Seattle. You go grocery shopping, you will bring your own tote, or you can purchase like a paper bag, I think for 5 cents or 8 cents. There's also no styrofoam in Seattle. If you eat out and get a to-go box, you're gonna get like a compostable takeout box or more of those sturdy plastic ones that you can reuse. There are also several buildings in Seattle that are LEED certified, which is a green building rating system. Climate Pledge Arena is kind of one of the more well-known ones. So this previously used to be the Key Arena, and they revamped it and called it Climate Pledge Arena. It is where the hockey team plays and the WNBA also plays. And then there's a lot of concerts in this arena. But when you're there, like all of the food items are all compostable, everything you have to recycle or compost when you're in there. And then that venue uses no fossil fuels, and they harvest their water through rainwater catchment. So it was really kind of like a more leading, cutting edge building that they revamped it into. And also in the downtown area, you will see there's quite a few LEED certified buildings. You'll see a lot of rooftop gardens, and a lot of them use gray water or some sort of catchment for some of their like toilets, flushing, and it's hand washing sinks. So if sustainability and environmental issues are important to you, which I think a lot of people in Seattle, because we have such natural beauty everywhere, we just want to try to preserve that as much as possible. So Seattle is a very eco-forward city. So pro number 5 is access to outdoor activities. So if you are into the outdoors at all in any capacity, and this could be anywhere from you just like to go take your dog for a walk in a nice park, or if you want to go climb Mount Rainier, we've got it all in between. Like there's so many outdoor activities here. We've got hiking trails, you've got city parks that have just smaller little walking paths, or you've got mountains that you can go to and climb bigger trails. We've got lakes, we've got oceans, we've got rivers. There's just so many different things to do here. It's just a outdoor person's dream. And again, even if you're not like super die-hard outdoorsy, like you can still just go enjoy it. It's just right out your front door. So it's something that's just so great to living here. Any outdoor enthusiast will just love it. You just see people all the time, like mountain biking, out biking, just on road biking. We've got paddle boarding. You can go out to the coast and go surfing. So there's just no end of amazing outdoor activities here, all within a short drive too. Like you've got state parks sprinkled throughout that you can go do things at. We've got Olympic National Park that's over on the peninsula that's very accessible from Seattle. And there's several things that are just maybe 2-3 hour drive away. Also, camping is a really fun activity here, and you can go anywhere from, if you've got your glampers that you don't want to be like super hardcore and have a little more laid back, easier camping style, that's available here. We've got more the backpacking where you can just go up into the backcountry where you don't see anybody and camp by yourself. So we've really got something for everyone, all skill levels. You don't have to be like this great outdoors person to really still enjoy it. Also, it's not just nature in the surrounding area, but we are very close to Canada to the north. So you can just take a couple hours drive, be up in Vancouver, BC. You can even take the ferry up to Vancouver Island and Victoria, BC. That's one of my favorite places to go. Down south, we've got Portland. That's just a couple hour drive away. You can head out east into the mountains. There's even, once you get out east, it's a little bit drier in the middle of Washington. There's a few different wineries. We've got some wine country out there. And then if you go west across the water into the peninsula, you've got like the rainforest type of field too. So there's just so much to do here, all within a relatively short drive. If you are a sports fan, Seattle is a great place to live with great sport teams and an incredible game day atmosphere. Pro number 6 is sports teams. So Seattle is absolutely a sports city. Even if you're not like a sports person and that into sports, it's still, you kind of get swept up in it. The Seahawks just won the Super Bowl. It was a very exciting time. Everybody's just like so excited in the city, wearing their Seahawks gear and chanting in the streets. You've got the 12th man flags flying all around. You've got restaurants and different storefronts with, Go Hawks painted on them. So it's just, it really sweeps you up. It's just a really fun city to be a part of sports in. And all of the teams, I don't know, I'm sure every team says this about their city, but Seattle just has the best fans. Everybody here is just always so supportive of their teams. Even if they're not doing well, we're still cheering them on. So it's just a really fun place. If you are into sports and you're leaving somewhere, you need a new team to cheer, you can definitely cheer for any of these Seattle teams. We've got you covered there. So we've got pro football. We've got the Seattle Seahawks, Super Bowl winners, what up? So we've also got the Seattle Mariners. They are our baseball team. They made it the farthest they've ever made it in like the history of the Mariners. They still have never made it to the World Series. I think they're the only baseball team that hasn't made it to the World Series. They were so close last year. We were so excited for them, rooting them on. That's okay. We still love them. They're going to make it this year. So exciting when the Mariners were getting there. So we've got opening game day, opening weekend coming up in April. Already have tickets. Very excited for the Mariners. So if you're into baseball, go Mariner. We've also got pro hockey. The Kraken play at the Climate Pledge Arena. We've also got pro soccer, men's and women's, so the Seattle Sounders and the Seattle Reign. And then we have women's, the WNBA basketball, which is the Seattle Storm. We don't have a pro basketball team anymore. There's been a lot of resentment over the years for Seattle getting rid of the Sonics. We're supposed to hopefully one day get them back. They're, I think, talking about doing an expansion with the NBA where they'll include new teams. And so Seattle should be next in line to get one of those. We're holding out hope. I mean, I moved here in 2009 and they were talking about it then. 2026, we still don't have a men's pro basketball team, but one day I think everyone's hoping maybe we'll have basketball someday. For the time being, we cheer on the Seattle Storm and then even the Portland Trail Blazers. So Seattle, good sports city and the best fans. So now we are moving into cons. Seattle has a lot of great things going for it, but the cost of living is one of the biggest challenges. Housing alone can shock a lot of people when they move here. So con number one is high cost of living. So yes, Seattle is a very high cost of living area. Now, I'm not going to go into a lot of depth here in this video about it. If you want more detail of what the full cost of living looks like in Seattle, I do have another video called The Cost of Living in Seattle 2026. So check that out because I do go in much more depth and detail about all of the costs associated with living in the area. But we will talk about housing prices in this video because housing prices are the number one expense typically for your budget, and the prices in Seattle have gone up quite a bit over the years. So median home price for single family homes in Seattle proper are $950,000, and a median home price for condos in the Seattle area are about $552,000. So we are definitely at the higher end. And for that $950,000, you're not getting like a giant McMansion in Seattle. For that $950,000, you are getting a 2-3 bedroom, maybe 2 bathroom house, maybe 1,500 square feet. So it's definitely not like a massive house that you're going to get for that price. If you want something bigger and more space, you are going to have to go outside of Seattle and into the suburbs. That is where you will start to get a little more bang for your buck and your money will stretch a bit further. But Seattle is just expensive overall in most everything. Gas is expensive here. Groceries are expensive, dining out, it is just a very high cost of living area. So if you are moving from somewhere that is not high cost of living, you will likely experience sticker shock when you move here. If you are watching this video and thinking that you want to relocate to Seattle, feel free to give our team a call so we can start getting a game plan together for you on how to make this move as easy as possible. While Seattle has a lot of great things about it, the traffic here can definitely test your patience, especially during rush hour. Con number two is traffic. So Seattle, the traffic is just bad here. There's no way around it. I think a lot of it has to do with our geography of the area. We have water to the west, water to the east, we have hills, tunnels, we have bridges. So it just makes traffic and getting around a lot more difficult. We're not just this flat area that can just expand out and keep building freeways and freeways and freeways. It's really just one freeway north and south, which is I-5. And then on the east side, you have 405. So you're really limited on routes that you can take. And so when those get backed up, it's crazy. Like you will be sitting in traffic for a lot of your time here. Rush hour typically in the afternoon starts around 2 o'clock, sometimes earlier. I mean, if there's like an event going on, or honestly, if it's raining, if we've had nice weather for a while and it hasn't rained for a while, and then it's like the first day of rain after a couple of weeks, traffic is always worse that day. Like I don't understand why it's so bad, why people people just have like driving amnesia. Once it's sunny, they're like, oh, and they just forget how to drive. But when we get that first rain again after a while, it makes traffic so bad. We also have a lot of road work going on, so that seems to just really affect traffic too. We're already limited on where you can go and routes you can take. And then if one of those routes is closed because of road work, it just makes for a really rough day of traffic. Sometimes I-5 or certain tunnels will be closed on the weekends if they're doing road work on them. And so they always try to warn people like, if you don't have to go into Seattle this weekend, don't do it because I-5 is closed and the I-90 bridge is closed. And so it just makes it so hard to get around. So if you can avoid traffic and take public transit as much as possible, absolutely do that because traffic is just a nightmare and I don't think it's going to get any better anytime soon. Seattle also notoriously has really bad drivers. Like, again, I don't know what it is. People aren't as like aggressive here. Like, I feel like California traffic is bad, but people are like moving and going. It's not like that here. People get like anxiety to even merge onto the freeway. I mean, I've been driving and seeing people with like their bumper stickers that are like, please let me merge, I'm afraid. So it's just something about the drivers here. They can't drive and just go. So it just only compounds to the problem. Seattle's reputation of gray skies exists for a reason. The long stretches of cloudy, rainy days can be really tough for some people. So con number 3 is rainy, gray weather. So this is what Seattle is known for, is the rain, right? I feel like rain and like coffee maybe in Frasier are some of the things that Seattle is known for. So it is absolutely rain. I will say the rain here, like it does rain, but it's more of a drizzle. It's rare that we have like torrential downpours all the time. Like that does happen, but it's more of kind of like a drizzle, and it's really the gray that lasts longer. Like on average, Seattle has 150 days of rain per year, but in contrast, on average, we get 226 cloudy days. So there will be plenty of days where it's not really raining that much, but it's just very cloudy and overcast. And I think that's what really gets to people, is that gray day that's always around. So that's the one thing living here, you really can't focus on the weather too much. If you do, you're just going to be disappointed all the time. I mean, my coping mechanism when I moved here from Arizona where it was sunny all the time, and I started looking at the weather and you'd be like, oh, there's supposed to be sun today, and then it would be rainy and you would just be like so depressed. And it was like, okay, I cannot keep doing this every day because it's just going to be terrible. So what I do is I just think that it's going to rain every single day. I just expect rain. I don't expect anything different. So then that way when it's not raining or it's not gray, you're like, oh, great, you're happy. So you just have to kind of change your perspective here and not focus on the weather, because if you do, you're going to be miserable. I also like to keep in mind the beautiful green scenery that we have here would not be possible for the rain. So again, you get like really down on the rain sometimes, like, we all go through it, but we wouldn't have this beautiful, lush greenery, the ferns, the moss, all of this beautiful plant life if it weren't for the rain. So try to keep it in perspective a little bit. Seattle has many great neighborhoods, but crime is still something people pay attention to. So con number 4 are crime rates. So the crime that Seattle is really known for is property crime. Our violent crime isn't too terribly bad. We don't even rate in the top 10 of larger cities for violent crime, but as far as property crime goes, we rate number 3. So it's not great. We do have a very high instance of property crime, smash and grabs in your car. Like, don't ever leave anything valuable in your car because there's a good chance it might get smashed and stolen, or packages that are stolen from people's front doorsteps or out of your apartment building. So just something to be aware of here is the higher instance of property crime. But I will say, with all of that in mind, like, yes, that's not ideal, but Seattle overall is still a relatively safe city. Smart Asset recently did a study and looked at safety ratings in different major cities, and Seattle still ranked 22 for safest cities. So yes, our property crime is very high, but I think relatively speaking, we are still a fairly safe city when compared to other areas in the country. Seattle Police Department and King County both issued different statements for 2025 saying that they did see a decrease in overall crime in the city, not only violent crime, but also property crime. So if you want to dig more into stats of crime in Seattle, the Seattle Police Department's website is a great resource. They have their crime stats, crime maps, where you can select different neighborhoods and see what the crime looks like there. So that's a really great resource to really see more real-time And when you are looking at that, you can compare from like 2024 to 2025 and even what's happened so far this year in 2026. And we have seen a decrease in all overall crime from 2024 to 2025. So that is encouraging, and hopefully we can continue on that trajectory of bringing crime down for 2026. Seattle has many great qualities, but homelessness is one of the challenges that the city continues to face. So con number 5 is homelessness issues. So this is just, it's a big problem in Seattle. It's a really unfortunate problem, but we do have a very large unhoused and homeless population. It's quite visible as well. If you're in downtown or certain neighborhoods, you will absolutely see it. Also, along with that comes open air drug use, which is pretty prevalent, especially in the downtown areas. So it's just something to be aware of when you are here. If you are going to certain parts of the city, you will absolutely see it. We do see changes from time to time where it fluctuates, where maybe it won't be as visible. I notice, especially during different maybe election cycles coming up, you tend to kind of things get moved and you don't see homeless populations as much, but it is still very much a problem, something that has really grown over the years. I think it's something that everyone in the city agrees that it's an issue, but it's just something that I don't think anybody can really agree on what to do and how to deal with it. So it's just a problem that persists in our city, and it's a very unfortunate problem. We do have a new mayor, so hopefully we will see some changes there to kind of make a dent or a difference, but it is a problem in our city. One thing you might hear about when moving to Seattle is the Seattle freeze, which basically means it can take some time to break into social circles here. So con number 6 is the Seattle freeze. So if you've been doing any sort of research into Seattle, you may have heard this term, the Seattle freeze. So it is, I don't know what it is. I remember hearing about it when I moved here, and you're like, okay, kind of weird. And then when you're here, you're like, yeah, I get it. I can see what they're talking about. So it's really, people here are friendly overall. Like, they're not just outwardly rude. And if you ask for directions, they'll give them to you, they'll talk to you. But as far as getting beyond that surface level, it can be really hard. I don't know if it's just people here are much more introverted, and so they don't kind of go out of their way to meet people. I don't know what it is, but it is a thing here. So it's just something when you're new moving here, especially if you're moving here from maybe a like southern state where everybody's just like really overly friendly, you might be really shocked here because people are just a little more reserved. They just keep a little more to themselves. So don't take it personally if you move here and you see that. I don't think it's necessarily, yes, something that people are like trying to do, but it is what it is. And so it just might take you a little bit longer to meet friends here. And you might have to put in a little bit more effort. I mean, there's a lot of different social groups or activities. You just might have to work a little bit harder and join some of these, social clubs or something to meet new people. But it is absolutely possible. You still can make friends here. Just be prepared. It might take a little bit longer. It's not you, it's them, it's us. It's just how Seattleites are. A lot of people move to Seattle for the job opportunities, but what they don't expect is just how competitive the job market can be. So con number 7 is competitive job market. So Seattle area, we are very tech heavy with jobs in this area, very big with the tech industry. So we have seen a lot of layoffs within the tech industry over the last several years. Either AI, I know, has been a big influence on some of these layoffs. So it's just really made the job market a lot more competitive because a lot more people have been laid off. So for all of these job postings, you're just seeing a lot more applicants. I read in a report that there was 41 applicants per open job. And I know, just anecdotally hearing from people that I know that are hunting for a job, that there's more. I mean, I've heard of people saying there's like 200 applicants per job. So if you're especially in the tech industry, it's a very competitive job market right now. Seattle does have a lot of other industries besides tech. Like, yes, we are very heavy into tech, but there is also aerospace and manufacturing, retail is big here, healthcare and education. So if you are in any of those other sectors, you may see less competition than what we are seeing in the tech industry, but just be prepared. If you are moving here, I highly recommend to have a job lined up before you move out versus trying to find something once you are here, because it will be very highly competitive. So that is the real story of living in Seattle in 2026. The pros, the cons, and what people don't talk about. Whether you're thinking about moving here or just curious about life in the city, knowing these realities can make a huge difference. If you are thinking about moving to Seattle, give us a call, give us an email, give us a text, and we can help make your move as easy as possible.